Father God, I thank you for your grace. I thank you for your glory. I thank you for these gifts. And right now, I thank you in advance for the greater. It is so in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Amen. Amen.
My people, my royal people out there in listening land, watching land. I'm glad to have you back with us again. I like to call you my G fam. So, G fam, what's up? Listen, if you are watching us or listening to us, I want to just welcome you back to another episode of Living Single with Dr. G podcast. We like to call this talk therapy, where we really pretty much just, ask the same 10 questions to all of our guests who come from different relationship backgrounds, right? Some of them are married, some of them are divorced, some are separated, some are single and searching, single and praying. Some are single and just like, Lord, where is mine? Some single and satisfied. But what's happening is that everybody, after giving the same questions and topics, are dropping some nuggets. They're dropping some tips and some tools to help those who are living single and just to help those who are trying to set better relationship goals for themselves. So that very same thing is about to take place right now. So you've tuned in at a real good time. We have an awesome guest. And listen, if you would like to be a guest here, if you would like to dive into these same questions and topics, you can do so. 404-901-8591 is the number to text. Just text the words special guest. Somebody will get in touch with you ASAP so that we can arrange it for you to be a part of this dialogue, a part of this podcast family. I know through your experience, you got some nuggets that you can drop as well. I have been growing and learning and evolving myself. Hosting this show has been awesome. We're in season 3 now. And it's been a pleasure, a blessing, and an honor just to be connected to some people, diverse backgrounds, and who have some awesome, awesome wisdom, awesome perspectives. Get you thinking on a different level. Our goal is to renew your mind and hopefully transform your life. Give you something to help you be intentional about making your life better. So we got Inspire in the background, in behind the scenes, doing what she does, producing and engineering things. And right now, my brother, introduce yourself. Tell us how old you are, and let us know your relationship status, please.
Absolutely. My name is Preston Pickett. Like I said, I currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia, the ATL. Like I said, I'm 50 years old, and current status is single, going through a separation, aka a divorce. So, God has different plans for my life. So I'm headed to that next chapter.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So, you already hear a little bit of who you about to hear from, but man, if you don't mind, if you give a little bio sketch on yourself, what you do, what you like to do, who you are, and so that as they're listening to you, they are receiving nuggets from somebody they feel like they just, they got a little bio on.
Absolutely. I'll give a quick bio. I was born and raised in North Philadelphia. Grew up in the projects. Grew up in the same neighborhood as Kevin Hart and Meek Mills. I said Kevin Hart grew up on Erie Avenue. Meek grew up on Burke Street. Grandmother was an alcoholic coming up, man. So very, very rough neighborhood. Moved to Southwest Philadelphia. Grew up during that hip hop era. My cousin worked for Rockefeller, was an A&R artist. So I grew up with Steady B, Cool C, that whole era, man. So my mother was murdered when I was 15. So I moved from Philadelphia when that took place, man. Like, it changed the trajectory of my life. I moved to the Norristown, which was a suburb of Philadelphia, under my father, tutelage. I said, I'm the Preston the third, you know what I mean? Like I said, my grandfather's Preston, my dad is Preston, I'm Preston, and my little son is Preston the fourth. So it kind of helped me shape my mind, man. And I went on to Penn State from there, went to Penn State University. I was on the Penn State boxing team, Cap Alpha Psi, president of Mecca. I was part of SGA, part of the lifting club. And just did some great things, man. So I can go on and on about my story, but just kind of give you guys a snapshot of who I am. And I don't want to give too much away because I don't know what you're going to ask tonight, Dr. G. But that's kind of who I am, man. Like I said, from the streets, God changed my life, man. So that's where we're at right now, and making some noise in Atlanta.
Come on. How many kids do you have, man?
I have 3. One just graduated from college, Georgia State. Olivia is my oldest, 22. Preston is my middle child. My youngest son, Miles, which is a YouTuber. So 3 kids, no more. So I'm happy. All from the same woman. Which is nothing wrong with that. But 3 beautiful kids, very blessed. Very grateful, man.
Man, awesome. Hey, so you are coming to us with a wealth of experience from different, aspects of life. As a father, just as a Black man, someone who's been married, someone who's in the process of, who's separated in the process of a divorce, someone who, and I don't know the story with your mom and everything, and blessings to you continuously. In your strength, regarding all of that. But I do know that the more experience we have and the more knowledge we gain, the more wisdom we're able to drop and be a light. And speaking of light, it was your light that I saw on social media that was shining bright. I said, this brother doing some stuff. I like this, and not just egotistically doing stuff, but shining a light, being salt to the earth, giving God glory in what you're doing, understanding he's behind, he's the one who gives promotion, So it's a joy to have you here tonight. And you're CEO, man.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Like I said, I've been in this position before, but we're kind of starting over right now. Just from a different perspective, man. Like I said, we're taking some of the old ways of doing things and kind of putting our twist on it right now and getting prepared for the future. So a lot of innovative stuff. It's been a grind, a lot of learning experiences, but it's been good, man. And God has taken us to the next level. So we're very excited.
Awesome. Hey, maybe you might be able to host, maybe to have one of our podcast mixers or something at one of your bed and breakfasts It's a car. It's Airbnb, bed and breakfast, right?
It's bed and breakfast. Yep, it's bed and breakfast. But definitely, man, like I said, we're open to it. Like I said, if it glorifies God, we're definitely all in. We're all in.
Yeah,
brother.
Yeah, man. We do game nights and all kind of stuff. I just love fellowship, bringing people together, creating a positive atmosphere and environment. That's what we flourish from. Well, man, we're gonna go ahead and dive into these 10 questions, and I know we're gonna be talking as we go along. Mm-hmm. The first one is dealing with red flags. What red flags, from your experience and observation, would you tell anyone never to ignore in someone they're pursuing a relationship with?
Red flags. I would think it will come from a standpoint of, like when you start seeing things from a person's spiritual standpoint, because what happens is the spirit speaks to you more than the flesh. Like you can see somebody, like you said, like my grandma's always say, actions speak louder than words. So when you start seeing somebody operate a certain way and that spirit is in them, whether smoking, drinking, partying, it's there. So those are things that you can't avoid, man. So the same thing too, and I'll get more into this about finances and kind of, how I went from a millionaire and trusting my wife in certain instances, and then not seeing those signs earlier in life until things just kind of went right bad. So, so I look at the spirit, man. So I don't look at people no more and what they tell me. I look at their spirit. Spirit speaks very loud, brother. Very loud.
Yes. I'm it already, man. Yes, I'm always talking about that. And many times I would always ask God when I go places, I said, if my words don't come together right, if I don't have the right aesthetics or whatever, please let them feel, hear, and know my spirit. I know I'm coming correct. Sometimes people, if they are looking for the wrong things, like you said, you learn to look for spirit, they can miss the heart, the soul, the spirit of a person because they're being, they are focused on superficial, and so I love that. Do y'all hear that? I don't know. Listen. You can't. Your spirit can't fool people.
No, it can't, brother. You might try. You might try, but Woo.
Yeah. Because you could know somebody red. You could, oh, there's red flags. You could have heard somewhere what a red flags, right, or whatever. Do this, don't do that, or whatever. And you could try to be pretentious with that. But let me tell you, if that ain't you, and it's gonna be seen. It's gonna be known. Love it. I love it. All right, come on. What's going on? Deal breakers. How important do you think deal breakers are in pursuing a relationship with someone, and should they ever be negotiated?
Wow. A lot of stuff I'm probably going to talk to tonight is, like I said, and I'll give a shout out to my grandmother, Lucio Pickett, who's in heaven right now. But I used to sit under her, man, and it's a lot of wisdom. But one thing she used to always tell me is that whenever you either get into a relationship or get married, there's actually 3 people on both sides that are getting into a relationship. So it's really 6 people. It's the person you used to be, it's the person you are now, and the person you're trying to be.
Man,
you know what I mean? So
wait, hey, don't be so right. Wait. Hey, that's again for a second. Cause that's real talk. That's real, man. And the first time I heard it here, that's real. Okay. Say it all again. Say it again.
All right. So whenever someone gets into a relationship, whether it's a relationship or they're getting married, it's actually 6 people that are joining a relationship. You're getting involved with the person that they used to be, the person they are right now, and the person that they want to be. So, when it comes to red flags, if you're not woman enough or man enough to say, okay, if I get involved with this individual, can I love the person they used to be? They might go out and act up and ask, they're around their old friends. Then the person that they are right now of currently, whether it's church or trying to change or what have you, that's who they are right now. And then the person that they're trying to be, like, let's say if they want to be a millionaire, they want to be a doctor, or whatever their profession might be. If they're staying up late at night, you can't kind of, get on them for that, because that's where they're trying to aspire. So if you're mature enough to be able to deal with those 3 individuals, then you're more than likely able to see the red flags and be mature enough to deal with it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Come on, grandmama.
That's from grandma.
Come on, grandma. I like that. And once again, wisdom nuggets that was dropped on you, you're now dropping them.
Yes.
You've learned by it, right? So that's that legacy that continues, right? And we continue to evolve by somebody else's experience and their wisdom. I love that. Oh my gosh. Used to be who I am now, who I'm hoping to be. And all of that does come into play. Never heard it put like that, but it's on. Okay. Moving on. What do you think? What do you see that makes it hard being single in today's culture? And now, and how long were you married?
23 years. We've been together for about 26.
Okay. So for almost 26 years, you didn't know anything about the single life as far as, one-on-one. Right.
So of course, I understand that life, so
yeah. So what I'm saying is that now you are stepping back into the single life in this culture that we are in now. What do you see that makes it difficult being single in today's culture?
And it's funny you say that too, man, because I think that we live in a very demonic culture right now, And when I say that too, a lot of people worship God, but as far as like, the kids out here and what they're listening to, and all that stuff with demon time. You hear a lot about that in the songs, demon time. And I think Satan has waged his war on a lot of our youth in reference to the music, the people that are promoting the music, the sexuality, stuff like that. So when you're out here, like, and I'm not in a rush to jump back out into the dating world, but when you're looking at somebody from a standpoint of, okay, can I get out here and start dating again? It's a lot of boxes you got to check, man. You know what I mean? Like you even with STDs and stuff like that, and I forget what they call it. The different sexualities of people that are going through trying to understand their identity. It's tough. So you got to really sit back and and monitor, like, you know, who is this person? Like, you just can't jump in a relationship with somebody. You got to figure out who they are. And that takes time, man. Like you got to understand, like I said, the spirit, what is that they're doing, who they're hanging around with. Do they worship God? Do they worship other gods? What's their religion? So, you know, it's heavy, man. So just being patient, you know?
Yeah. I'm glad you said be patient, because I'm often saying here, and the apostle told me that even recently, you know, as he says that God is doing some great things. I see God doing some great things with you. I'm just hearing, just be patient, because it's all coming, whatever, you know. And so what happens is that in relationships sometimes, we've been waiting for a while for somebody. And instead of taking our time, being patient, understanding that, yeah, we was waiting for a while, we're just meeting them, but we don't know them yet.
Yes.
So we got to investigate. You know, I'm always telling people, you got to take time to investigate, to be able to deal. Y'all would hear, deal with, watch somebody in all seasons. You know.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. Yeah.
In all seasons, not only spring, winter, summer, and fall, but all of the emotions. You know, all the ups and downs. You know, see if you can hang around long enough to observe all of that, so you'll know what you're getting. We investigate more on a house before we buy it. At school, our kids going to go to, all of this before. We don't just see the building like, oh, that's my building. You know, but we do that with a man or a woman, and you got to, I love that. You got to be patient.
You got to be patient, man. And I think a lot of it comes with age, man. And you know, you got to go through a few relationships, but at the end of the day, you know, you see what's out there. Even in Atlanta, I mean, a lot of females down here, but you know, sometimes, you know, when I'm talking to, you know, even in the church, like I said, a lot of pretty girls in the church, you know what I mean, a lot. But at the end of the day, you know, I don't know this story. I'm focused on the Lord, doing His work, and you know, we all got traumas, we got issues. You know, some on both sides. Some guys got mommy issues, some girls got daddy issues. So, you know, you just gotta, like I say, get to know people, man. And then when you get to know them, it's just like, okay, so that's who you are. I've seen enough of you, and I think I can kind of base an assessment of who I'm dealing with. Like I said, you know, because these days, you know, credit, how you deal with your finance, like it's a lot, man. So
oh yeah, somebody can mess you up.
It's a lot. It's a lot, brother. So
yeah,
it's cool, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know, like I said, I'm not in a super rush. You know?
Yeah, you're not in a super rush, and you know, single, back in the maintenance sector and everything. People know that about you now, man. They're gonna be like, woo! You know, prime real estate.
I get a lot of DMs. You know what I mean? A lot of DMs, and you know, I think that comes with the success. But you know, I don't even want to get into that story, but I'm a lot different now. So like I said, I'm not chasing skirts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not chasing skirts. It's like I'm looking for the heart. I'm looking for you know, where you're trying to go, what your natural gifts and talents are, like, you know, what part you play in God's kingdom, and if we can mesh up to make sure that, you know, if we do that, it's going to be right. So yeah.
You said something earlier, and even just now to a certain extent, that I'm often saying. You just said it in a different way. I like the way you said it, as far as used to be, who are who you are, who you're going to be. I'm always telling people, when you said you're meeting people, you don't know their story. I always tell people, when you're meeting someone or when you connect with someone, you're connecting not just with them, but with their life.
Yes.
Whoever and whatever is connected to their life, you have now connected that to your life.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So their life becomes a part of what impacts you on a daily, you know, and because it's impacting your mate, you know. So we have to really, that's why I say you got to be patient. You got to see how a person's lifestyle is, how their life, because it's not just the six packs, it's not just the, you know, she banging in here and there, you know, but it's like what comes with this person's life. Yeah. I love that. We often hear people talk about settling. Some people say I'm not gonna settle. Some people say I feel like I've settled. What does it mean to you when you hear settling or settle in a relationship?
Yeah, settling to me is like, and it's funny you say that too. It's like going into a nice restaurant and you have in your mind the whole night, you know, I'm gonna get a surf and turf, and I mean, give me a nice surf and turf. You had it on your mind the whole day. You know, you're working hard. I'm gonna treat myself to a surf and turf, and then they come in, they say, listen, you know, we don't have any more steak left. I can bring you some chicken. You know what I'm saying? So you have to decide right there. Well, that's something for me. Should I take this chicken platter, or do I go down the street to Sonny's and go ahead and get me nice filet mignon with the lobster I like? So that's what it is to me, man. And I'm just even what Will say, like, I'm just not into selling, like, you know, and that's what it says in the Bible, man. Like, you know, in all things you have to be patient. And I just, you know, I've been working on that for the last couple of years, man. And I'm not into that selling thing no more, bro. I like what I like. I want what I want, you know. So.
Well said, man. Well said. Bro, look. This week, Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq opened back up his Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
It was, you know, since 1965, it was there. The first time it opened, it burned down 2 years ago. They reopened it like ashes, you know, coming up, rising from the ashes, right? And so I was getting so many revelations that I was being a part of that. I couldn't wait to go later, but I said I wanted to go during the celebratory time, right? I wanted to go while the mix was there, while the crowd was there, while everybody was celebrating. I wanted to go during that time. And so I went, me and my brother went the other day, yesterday, I think it was, yeah. And I already had in my mind, there's only 2 donuts that I was going to get. There's only 2 donuts I was going to get. I was not going, and because I don't need to really be doing a whole donut anyway, so I wasn't going to get a whole box. I wasn't about to pay those $16 for the whole box. Anyway, I'm just like, that's ridiculous. But anyway, because I remember, watch this, I remember when it used to be. Okay, but anyway, so I'm up in there, I'm up in line. I'm like, I want to be supportive. I want to be a part of this energy. I love the energy. I love supporting other people who are doing it, moving and shaking, you know, rising back from the ashes. That's as I'm sowing seed into them, I know I'm doing it for my own self, you know. I want to be a part of that energy, right? And so and that's the frequency I was in right there. So I'm there standing in line, and I asked my bro, he was still in the car. I said, yo, what donut you want? What you want? He said, I don't get, I said, you want chocolate? He said, yeah, I don't get chocolate. Hung up. Then the lady said, she was listening to me, asking him, she said, well, we got 3 kinds of chocolate now. We got chocolate with sprinkles on top, stuff without. I'm like, oh gosh, you know. So now you got the chocolate, but each chocolate comes different. But anyway, I said, just give that chocolate right there. Now it came time for me. I said, do y'all have the curly one? No, we don't have that. Man. The other lady looked at me. She said, you waited in the line all this long time and they don't have what you want? I said, I know, right? We done waited a long time for, all right. So I said, okay. Do you have one with nuts on top? No, we don't have nothing nuts on top. I said, oh man. I said, I see all those donuts there, but none of them are appealing to me, right? Because I want either the curly one. I'm thinking, y'all just open up. I know you got it. So they don't have either one. So now I'm standing there for the longest and I'm trying to decide. She looking at me. I said, I don't know. What I was waiting on and wanting and had in my mind, y'all don't have, you know. She didn't know how soon it would be. So at that time I said, no. I said, just go ahead and give me a glaze. And right then I was selling it. I knew I was selling for a glaze. I can get a glaze any day.
Yep, anywhere.
I was selling for the glaze, and when I got it, even when I was eating it, man, I'm like, yeah, I'm eating it. You know, it was cool, but it wasn't what I went there for. It's not what I was looking for. And we do that in relationships and stuff. Now, there's sometimes I've left the restaurant for something like you may mention, but just yesterday I settled and I wasn't really satisfied.
Yeah. I can hear it in you. I can hear it in you. You know what I mean? That's how I make you feel, right? Right? How you talking tonight? Make you feel just like that.
What got you to this place that you're not going to settle anymore? And listen, two part. And when did you settle ever in your life that it really, like, you feel like it did you in, or you regretted it?
Two things. Number one, I stopped selling once we went through the separation because I felt as though I deserved better. That was one. I felt as though how hard I was working, where I was trying to head at in life, you know, what I went through, all the adversity. I felt I deserved better. So with that being said, you know, a lot of successful friends, fraternity brothers, and I was talking to one of my frat, which is a doctor, and you know, how we're having this conversation. He was like, you know, you need to make a list. He said, you know, what I mean, like how the law of attraction works. Kind of make your list of what exactly you're looking for. So when you see it, you recognize it. So that was one thing. And I said, okay, that's how I'm going to approach this second phase. Now, in reference to my wife, which I'm currently going through a divorce with, when we met in high school, and there's nothing wrong with this. So any females is watching this, like I said, this is not intended towards y'all, but she approached me, right? That was one thing. So when she approached me, I was currently dating at that time, and she was like, you know, I think we should kind of be boyfriend and girlfriend. We should start dating. And I was, and at that time, you know, I should have probably pumped the brakes and say, you know, let me kind of be the one initiating. And it's nothing wrong with whoever initiates, but I think that's where I made a mistake at. And I was just like, you know, again, selling. And I think that's where it goes back to. And I was like, okay, she was fine, she was pretty, so you know, I went with that. And it should have been me leading from a standpoint of chemistry. Are we equally yoked? You know what I mean? A lot of things I kind of let bypass me, and you know, down the line, come to find out as you get older, finances play a big part. Some parts that, you know, we're not too connected, or the chemistry is not there. So I hope that answers your question, man. But this time around, you know, like I said, I'm kind of checking off certain boxes and making sure that you know, I'm not selling, and I'm getting what I want. So that's what it is.
That's good, man. That's real. That's real talk. Now to what you were saying, and you addressed the sisters. Is something? Do you feel that something is wrong, or would you gear women away from approaching a male if she's interested in him?
I wouldn't gear them away, but it's the same thing too, man. Like I said, you know, and my pastor talks about this too. Let's say, for example, and it's happening right now, especially, and I don't want to allude to this topic, but a lot of African American males being in prison, the ratio is going higher, more females, especially successful females. You'll hear them sometimes say, I don't need a man. So going through Black diaspora, that was my minor at Penn State, African American Studies. But when you start looking at the females in a way, they approach some men, they'll pick a guy, and then what happened is down the line, they don't get a ring. You understand? They don't get a ring. So now they're wondering, why am I not getting a ring? Why hasn't he proposed? Why hasn't there been a marriage? Things of that nature. But going back in history and time, if you understand the courting process, courting was the man courting the female to see, do I like you? Meeting the parent. I talked to my daughter about this. The guy that she was currently dating, I don't like him because he never took my daughter to the prom. You understand? And they was dating during that time. So yes. So I told her, I was like, I just feel as a father that he's not for you.
Right.
And so you know, the courting process doesn't have to be like how it was in the 60s, but there has to be some line of courtings that I like you, I see us together. It has to be a date. Sometime, you know, meeting the parents. We got to go back to old school, just a little bit, not all the way. It's a different generation, but I need a little bit of that.
I love this because not only from your own relationships, you're now dealing with, you're talking to a daughter, right?
Yes.
You're preparing her with relationships, and so and just one more time on this, and then we're moving on to the next one. So what would you say to the female, to the sister who is interested in a guy, but who don't want to be too assertive or too aggressive with her approach? How does she let him know?
I mean, just like how a guy would, and it works on both ends. Like, listen, I think you're fly, or, something about them, I think you're smart, or I think you're sexy, or I think, whatever it is, I like what you're doing in the ministry. We should hang out sometime. It don't have to always come from a sexual standpoint. We should hang out. And then, let's say 1 or 2 dates, you can kind of tell a lot about a person. I say, where they take you at? Do they hold the door? Do they tip? How they treat people? Their shoes. Hygiene. How, a lot of different things that you should be checking for. And then if it leads to a second date, you're on to something. But if that first date don't feel right, you're kind of not getting them butterflies, it don't kind of settle, then go with it. Go with your gut. Like, don't let your gut fool you. Like, if you're feeling that, go with it. You know what I'm saying? Go with it.
Yeah. The shoes, the tips, come on now. You somebody taking some notes right now. They saying, wait, shoes.
Yeah, the whole 9 you got to, man. Like I said, that's how grandma schooled me, and I still and I go back to my daughter, and I don't want to stay on this topic too long, but like I told her, you dating a guy, you brought him to my home to meet me. You understand? And then at the end of the day, when it was time to go to the prom, he didn't take another female, but he didn't take you. So that lets you know that there really wasn't interest there. You know what I'm saying? There was a lack of interest, because if he felt as though you was his queen, he would want to show you off to the world.
Yes. Yeah. That part. Yes, I'm ready to shine with you, baby. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. No, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
But he wanted to come over to our big house, though. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't go too well with me. So.
Wow. Red flag. Wow. And I don't like that spirit.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Okay, moving on. I'm good, man. Hey, you're good, man. You're good. So, and you've alluded to this a little bit already. What are some qualities, right? We talk about red flags, but one of my guests, Joshua, made mention of green flags. Green flags mean, that's a go. But what are some qualities that you would tell people to make sure they see exist in a potential mate?
Some qualities. Here's my thing is, and I talk to cousins about this, sisters, aunts, and make sure that chemistry is there, because what happens is when you get in a relationship, you waste a lot of time with the wrong person. And when I say that, meaning, and I don't want to, I can jump on some topics that I don't want to take up too much time, but when I'm talking about equally yoked, make sure, and I don't know how to describe this in the right context, but when I say equally yoked, make sure that chemistry is there. Because a lot of people go on dates, and you might get with a person and you feel that something is off. Like, like say you don't like the way that they talk to you. You don't like the way that the vibe is. You're not feeling them butterflies. A lot of that stuff like that, and you ignore it. And then it's like, you know what? I've never really liked this guy. I dated him because he was a doctor, or I dated him because he had money. But at the end of the day, does he make you smile? Like I said, do y'all get along? Like, it's a checklist for me. And so we can talk about this all night, man. I'd rather talk behind the scenes or something, because I don't know who your audience is, but
no, I love it, man. You're doing good. You're dropping some good wisdom.
Absolutely, man. But yes, that's it. So I'm gonna leave it at there, because like I said, but like I said, but just make sure that you're equally yoked, and that chemistry is there. So I'm gonna use the word chemistry. Again, because I think that's very important. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I think the chemistry is the key.
Okay. So the next question, I'm going to pretty much merge them both together. When you're dealing with women and men in a relationship, what are the traits, attributes, and expectations that a woman responsibilities of a woman, and what are the traits and responsibilities of a man in a relationship?
That's a great question, man. I think because of the fact that we're in 2023. We're living in a different world. Back in the 60s, the way I grew up, like I said, my grandfather and grandmother was married for over 50-something years. So I kind of grew up watching that. My mother was married and went through a divorce. So these days, of course, you would like for it to be, the man is the provider, man's taking care of everything. But guess what? The sisters are out here balling out of control. You know what I mean? They're balling out of control. So, if you're a man that's confident, in himself, you don't have a problem with, your wife or your lady being, the head or making more money than you. You know what I mean? So that takes a special kind of man. But at the end of the day, I don't discriminate. Like so I've dated females that were doctors. Different police officers, real estate females, and then sometimes, like I said, I was the breadwinner. Years ago. So, I can't say that the man should be the head. If the female's up there, man, let her lead. Let her do her thing. But like I said, you got to be confident in yourself. So it goes both ways. The guy can lead or the female. So I'm open to either one these days, man. Honestly, I'm open to either one.
So you're saying you lead by finances? That gives you the qualification to lead?
No, I'm not even saying finance. Like I said, in the Bible, the man is the leader. But let's say, you have to look at it too. Like let's say, for example, like in my church, my pastor, female, Galen, she speaks sometimes. She comes up there. Of course, my Pastor Mike is always the one that's speaking. But like I said, Creflo Dollar, a lot of different ones, like Taffy. These are some powerful females, man. So you just can't brush them under the rug by them being first ladies. They make them, by them being queens, they make their presence known. So when they're doing that, you can't say, okay, well, sweetheart, get behind me because you're a female. You have to let them lead and do their thing because, as I said, they have an anointment on their life too. So if that's the case, whatever God's on in their life, give them the stage, give them the light. But at the end of the day, your place as a man, what you're anointed to do, and by us being men. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're the provider, you're the protector. Always have that in your mind that that's the role you're meant to play. But at the end of the day, I don't mind a strong female leading, man. So if she's doing her thing, I'm supporting her just as much as she's supporting me.
Wow. Awesome. That's different here. I love it. You made mention of your church a couple of times. What church do you attend?
I go to Excel here in Marietta.
Excel in Marietta. I've heard of it.
Yeah, Excel. Yes, indeed. Pastor Mike, yeah. That's my man. Absolutely.
Pastor Mike. I've heard. Awesome. I've heard some good things about the church. Okay, moving on to the next one. What are some unexpected, unrealistic, and unfair expectations that single people have of each other, and they're just single?
Wow. I think just putting too many stipulations on themselves, man. Like I said, I talk to my younger cousins. Like I said, we live in a day and age where social media is crazy, man. So, and it's sad too, because even when I got down to Atlanta and I had to kind of change, my whole twist up the way I operate, because my younger siblings and cousins was telling me, okay, you need to have a presence. And I was like, okay. So what happens when you have a social media presence, unlike years ago, the first thing people want to do is they want to judge you. You understand? They want to judge you based off of that character, that image that you have on social media. And that's far from the truth. That's not really who you are, man, because again, we live in a cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? So you put the wrong thing up, you say the wrong thing, people don't want to deal with you, or you're not relevant, or you're not popular. You know what I'm saying? And I tell my daughter the same thing. I tell my kids, I had to stop them and monitor them from being on there for psychological reasons. But I also want to let them know who they are as young African-American men in this world. You're a king. So at the end of the day, stop trying to follow trends. Stop trying to follow people. Be like them. Be your own person. So my young kids, they started businesses, and they're doing a lot of great things. Like I said, my son's going to Penn State for finance, and it's like, if you're not LeBron James, that's okay, son. You know what I'm saying? You can be the next Warren Buffett, and that would be totally fine. So, that's how I am. So that's what they do. They doing a lot of just prejudging, and then I think even in relationships and taking that different route is that we expect somebody to be who we see either on social media or that character that they made up.
I love it, man. I love it. And to what you were saying, because we live in a cancel culture, right? People know what not to post.
Yes.
Some smart people know what not to post. Some people got a family page and they got another page. And so they know what not to post. So you are becoming in tune to, or attracted to, or introduced to this filtered individual.
Yes.
Right. And then you're expecting them to just be that. Yes. Without realizing realistically, that's not who they are. That's all who you've been introduced to. And when you meet them now, you're seeing some other stuff. They drinking or doing whatever. Nah, man, I don't do this on social media, man. But this is what I do. Yeah. You didn't look like that guy. You got what they call them? Not a fun page. What they call it? You got a fan page? Yeah. She didn't let you know that. I just seen a story about that. A guy, he just found out that his girl had a fan page, and one of his guys told him about it. She never told him, so he never brought it up, and so then they had to end up dealing with it, and so that's a real thing. That's a real thing. There is that you either expecting them to be like something you've seen that you like, or either expecting all they are is what they showed you on social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. Man, that's what my pastor talked about that too, which I didn't know too, man. Like I'm an older gentleman, so when it came to he talks about social media etiquette. Social media etiquette. And when I started hearing, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like one of my good friends tells me, like, he might post something funny, he might post something about business and the other, but going too far to the left, like, or like I said, all that high and stuff. Like, that's why maybe how you found me. Just trying to be genuine, man. Like if you be genuine and authentic, that's the best portrait of yourself that you can show the world, man. And that's what I try to do. So.
And I'm glad you said that, because so far, and I learned to do this. Say so far, so far, what I've seen on social media, and then talking with you on the phone, and now even this dialogue, there's been a consistency in the mindset and the light, and I'm loving it, and there's a consistency in that. It's not like, I've seen one person and got on the phone, I'm like, oh gosh, maybe not,
Yeah.
And some people, they're really mindful of how they speak on social media or something pre-recorded. When you just, and this is not to say you can't just, as they say, let your hair down, whether you got hair or not, let your hair down and just be cool. But like even in your cool and chill space, you're still a good spirit.
Wow, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to just always still be a good spirit. That's at the end of the day, even whether you at the White House or whether at your mama's house, your boy's house, just still be a good spirit at the end of the day. Yeah. Oh man, what? Come on, man. Down to the last two. I'm loving it, man. Listen.
Yeah, I'm loving it as well, my brother. Like I said, it's been a pleasure. It really has. I do. I feel like I'm talking to one of my brothers, you know what I mean, or one of my family members.
Come on, mission accomplished.
Thanksgiving too, we'll just wrap.
Mission accomplished. That's the feel right there. That's the feel we want, right? I appreciate that. I'm humble, man. So last two turn-offs. There's some young ladies, some young men out there who they doing their. We talked about it a little bit just now, especially with social media. They doing themselves, and they feel like this is me. I get to do me, and they don't realize that's a turnoff. What are some turnoffs that people need to be aware of that other people in their life probably didn't even tell them that's a turnoff?
What I would say right now, man, is just a lot of females. And when I use the word arrogant, I'm coming from a standpoint of just being like very, very aggressive. And when I say aggressive, like in your demeanor, and I talked to my aunt about this probably about 2 months ago. And she kind of jumped on me about this, and she was like, just make sure when you ever discuss this, you're saying it right. But a lot of guys are coming at females these days from, and I'm just saying me, whether they want to date you or whatever. So if you're putting up this big blockage, it's like, listen, you have to bring that masculinity down. You know what I mean? So to me, that's a huge turnoff, because again, you can let a guy know that, okay, you can approach me, and I don't care how much you're making, how well you're doing, how much success you're having, what your position is in the church, what you're doing in the corporate world. But at the end of the day, you can't say that there's not a lot of good men out here, and you're not allowing us or giving us the signals to approach. And then when we do approach, everything is, oh no, leave me alone. I don't want to date. So a lot of guys say, you know what? I don't want to approach these black sisters because that's how they're acting. So when you start going to different races, they're like, well, where all of our men at? I'm telling all the ladies out there, lower your masculinity. Stay in that female space. That female energy is very sexy. Guys love it, and it makes us want to approach. But it's like every time, you go into a place and you want to approach a female, it's just like, she's with 5, 6 girlfriends, and it's like, no, I don't want to be bothered. And then when she leave the club, she's wondering why she didn't find a man. Well, you're obviously out. You're looking for somebody. I don't want to use the clubs. I don't go to the clubs no more. But whether you're at an art museum, church, or what have you, you got to kind of let your hair down just a little bit. You know what I mean? So hopefully that helps somebody, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Okay. Be a little bit more approachable. I had to tell one woman the other day, a sister friend of mine, I said, be a little bit more gentle. I said, you're too aggressive. Oh, do that. I said, no. I said, and the guy I said, the guy you went ain't gonna be liking that. She said, he be telling me that. I said, nah, I'm your brother, and I'm telling you that. Be gentle. Come on. And so
a little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. We like that. Soft. Come on, be soft. But just a little bit, I know you boss and everything, you got this going on, but yeah. And so I do believe that what do you think has some sisters thinking like that, or guys feeling like they got to be masculine? What do you think is the contributor to that?
I think with the gap disparity right now, as far as economics, like I said, and I'll be the first one to say that, like, females rule the world, man, all over. So what's starting to happen now is females are making a lot more money. They're becoming way more successful. So when they start having that mentality, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, I love that they're doing well, but they start feeling like, I'm making $250,000 a year. I drive a Bentley or I drive a Range. I got my own penthouse. I can pay for my own clothes. I can do this. I can do that. So therefore, what do I need a man for? So when you're constantly in that mindset, when someone approaches you, you're looking down like who are you? You know what I'm saying? And that's not the way that the world was built. That's not the way humans. If you go back to Adam and Eve days, the female came from the male. That's why they have so many rib cages or what have you. Like the rib was taken from the male to make the female. So at the end of the day, if we continue to understand that, listen, y'all can be in your flow, you can be in your grind.
Oh yeah.
You can get to the bag, but at the So I mean, I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, it does, man. It does. Listen here, it does. All right, down to down to the end, man. Yes. Self-awareness. How important is it to be self-aware before pursuing a relationship? And how self-aware are you?
Wow. I mean, you have to know yourself before you can know someone else. You know what I mean? So when I say self-aware, when it comes to, for example, like when people go through separation, I see my mom go through this. Now, what we use the word or terminology is self-development. You understand? Self-development. So you're working on yourself, whether it's your psychology, your looks. Like same thing too with your skin, working out more. So I think that's self-care. But at the end of the day, whenever you're preparing to date someone, you have to make sure that you know more about yourself before you're trying to jump into a relationship to get to know someone else. So in reference to the question, run it back one more time. So I just want to make sure I answer that right, because I kind of my mind went somewhere else real quick. Go ahead.
No, I got you. No, and how important is it for a person to be self-aware? Understand what's wonderful about them, what they need to be working on, to be self-aware before they go pursuing another life to get connected to a relationship.
Yeah, going back to patience, man. Like I said, just taking some time. Like I always talk to my aunt. Like I said, I talk to Aunt Brenda sometime. So you asked me, how I'm doing to get dating life, because she's about 78. And I told her, so I said, right now, I'm dating myself. And I had to take a break because I didn't want to take my baggage from one relationship and jump into another one. So alluding to your question, just like I said, just being patient, man, taking the time not to want to see, because sometimes too, man, like reference to like psychological and baggage, drama, all those things, you don't really understand. Like if you're not healed totally, you're carrying that right into the next relationship, and then when you carry into the next relationship, and I've been to therapy, I've done all that stuff, like say, making sure that I'm right before I can get on with the next person. And one thing they told me too, man, like, what you'll do sometime, you'll fill up your bag with all kind of old relationship, old drama, all this old stuff. And then when somebody says something or does something, you take your bag and you smack them with it. And you don't realize, and they say to themselves, like, damn, well, where did that come from? Well, that came from all the stuff that built up over the years that you didn't get a chance to release. You didn't get a chance to heal from. So sometimes you got to take your time and know that, you know what, I'm ready. You know what I mean? I'm ready to get back out here. I'm ready to have fun, and I'm ready to be the best person I can be for the next person I get involved with. And that's what I talk about, man. Just, being patient. So I'm trying to answer your questions the best I can, but
Hey,
I'm coming off the top. You know what I mean?
No, listen, you did it. You're doing it more than you even realize, and you that's the anointing. That's his God, man. You're doing it more than you realize. And even to that, one of the things that you made mention of, which often people make mention of when we come to this question, and that is the being an advocate for therapy, right?
Yes.
I'm an advocate for therapy. It's not the stigma that it used to be, right? And so a lot of times in getting yourself to a healthy and happy place,
yes,
before pursuing someone else, well, not a lot of times that is necessary. Okay, so a lot of times you may have to go through therapy, get some whatever. It's almost like you go to the shower before you go on a date to make sure you're clean and stuff. You go over there to get your hair done to the beautician. She do that, right? So you go certain places to get yourself right before you go connect with somebody.
yes.
Don't leave out your emotions and your mind while you're getting everything else in check.
Yes. Yes, I love it.
Yeah. And so, and to what you're saying, like I started therapy October 20. Wow, this is another October 2020. And when it came to a wrap, I'm like, we starting this thing again, because I'm like Taraji them, whatever. I believe in many mentors. I believe in consistency with that. If it is working for me, it's good. I release. I receive, I'm getting tools and nuggets. Application is proven manifestation. Oh, why am I going to leave that alone? No. So I keep it. I keep it as a part of my. So I'm so glad you went there to that. Now this is the point.
I wasn't going to, but I'm since we're on a podcast, I'm just throwing it all out there, man. Like I said, hopefully it helps somebody. So that's why I put it out there, brother. I want to be.
That's why we're here, man. That's why we're here. I wish I had this podcast. I wish this podcast was in my life when I was, some years ago. I'm able to come and hear diverse people from different backgrounds of relationships to able to answer, talk to these questions, answer to these topics, and just get some nuggets, man, for life. People that you probably wouldn't normally get to. Because listen. We just heard news break that Jada Pinkett and Will Smith.
No, woo! Oh,
we just heard that they've been pretending publicly.
No, I mean, but it was so out there. With so many red flags. Like you said, the red flag was all over the wall. And going back to that question you asked about 3 questions ago, that's a prime example. When I say chemistry, Will is not her type. She loved Pac. You know what I'm saying? She loved Pac. So if that's her type, you dated him for the money. So like I said, I'm from Philly. Will didn't grow up too far from me. I lived in Southwest. He lived in Overbrook. So at the end of the
West
day,
Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like I used to see Will all the time. Like I said, I knew Steady B, Cool C, all of them. Like my sister dated one of Cool C's dancers, man, E Marble. So you know what I mean? But Will's not her type. You know what I'm saying? And you got out in Hollywood, and it ain't work. You know what I'm saying? It ain't work, bro. It ain't work.
Listen, man.
I mean, rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and listen, and I don't know where the inspiration come, but now the news about Pop just coming up, you know, again, surfacing again after 27 years. And then she coming out with this. I'm like, what is going on, you know? But you know, but I was telling somebody,
you like what you like you said with them donuts, you like what you like.
Yeah, you know, and you gotta listen, you gotta be real with that. You gotta be honest with that. Self-aware is that I know this about myself, and I gotta be honest about this with you.
Yeah.
And then when I see that ain't it, I'm so self-aware. I know my, watch this. This is the title of her book. I know my worth. Oh my. Oh.
Yeah.
I know my self-aware. I know my worth. So I'm not going to connect with you. I'm not going to be satisfied. The one thing I see, we good with business and money, but I need so much more than that in my life.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? A lot more. Like I said, same thing too. Like, you know, I mean, let's keep it real. She like thugs, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Pop only on top of that, but he's so intelligent, man. Like I said, so smart, so self-aware. He's a king, bro. So at the end of the day, that's her type. Like I said, you know, I mean, people call Will beta male. You know, and I don't want to put it out there for my brother, but sometimes it don't match. And you can only drive so many Bentleys and have so many mansions, and then the love dwindles, and you wondering why. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and to what you're saying about Pac, right, and the thug, right, even on in a relationship and whatever, you still talking about Pac, that your daughter is even writing a letter to him? Yeah. Your daughter writing a letter to him? So the self-awareness is so important, y'all. It's like understanding, and I'm gonna get the book because I got this platform here, I'm doing relationships, I'm gonna get the book so I can dig in, but understand your worth. Yes. Understand your value. And so when you understand your worth and your value, you're not going to settle. You're not going to ignore the red flags. You're not going to break no deal breakers. You see what I'm saying? You're going to understand what you need to wait on.
Yeah, and be mature to walk away. If it's not working, it's okay. It's okay. Like I say, if it ain't working, that's not your person. That's it, man. It's not your person. That's it.
Yeah, that's not your person. And it's cool. Don't do it to them and don't do it to yourself. Because you're affecting so many other lives, especially when offsprings come out of that. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to them. Yeah, I just wanted you to know that you was right on point, because even as you was talking, my mind was going, I'm like, wow, yeah, and so it's so important that, look, love language is also important when you are being self-aware. So, what is your top love language?
My top love language, man. First of all, it's just, I love people that are funny, authentic, and respectful, man. You know what I mean? And woo, that's the tough right there. You know what I'm saying? You got me thinking. Okay.
Well, let me go ahead. Let me help you out a little bit. Have you ever heard of the book 5 Love Languages?
I've heard of. I never read it. So if you can help me and enlighten me, my brother, on.
I got you. This right here. Nope. Yeah, you have no preparation for this. This is just that deals with the 2 things that deal with self-awareness. That I keep it light with all of the guests, right? So yeah. So it's 5 love languages. Quality time. Some people love quality time. There's acts of service. Okay. There's physical touch, affection. There's gifts.
Okay.
Give gifts, and then there's words of affirmation. So out of those 5, which one do you know you need top? That makes you feel that you love.
I think acts of service to me, because I love, and I think it's so sexy to see a female that is, not, first of all, God, but hear me out, but just in her rightful space of just, like I said, helping, giving back, what I'm saying? Like I said, my thing is the kids, being around the kids, just loving on. Like I said, I sit back, man. Like I said, it's so beautiful to me, because I understand that, damn, you know what? She can take care of a kid, and I see how she react, and I just love that, man. So when I see the girls doing that and loving on the kids and volunteering and just, no money is involved, and just, just being in that beautiful spirit, man, it's extremely sexy to me, and I It's a turn on.
I love the way you said it and you dropped it here. Y'all need to know it's sexy. Yes, it is. It's like, yeah, I want that. I want to be with that, right?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're in the corner, you check it out from the corner. You know what I mean? People like that Love Jones type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you spending too much money doing all this other stuff, but I need to see that. You know,
I need that. I don't need all the extra. I need that. Just do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you used to watch the Cosby Show?
Oh, absolutely. Big fan.
Do you remember the episode when Bill and Evan was sitting on the couch and Clara came and did something for him, gave him something, and Elvin said, "You serve him?"
Oh, probably hoagie potato chips. That's all I used to eat. Hoagie potato chips.
No, but Clara was serving Bill something on that episode, and Elvin was looking at her like you're a lawyer and stuff, and you serving your man, you know? And
absolutely.
Yeah, and he thought that was on the low. She was like, "No, I do this because I love him. I love doing this, you know." And so just knowing that you can be a powerful woman and everything, but when you that act of service for that man that makes him feel like a king, it goes a long way.
That's just being subservient on both ends. Like I said, the guy got to give it. And the female got to give it like so. If I'm treating you out and I'm taking you, making sure your hair and your nails are done, I'm taking you to nice restaurants and we having fun. I don't mind every so often. You know what I mean? Like you get me a nice gift or you take me somewhere, and it doesn't have to be big things, but it's just I have to know that your heart is right, and that means a lot, man. So because I'm gonna spoil you, we're gonna have fun, but I would love a little bit of reciprocation back. That sometimes we had a long day. I'm treating you to a massage this week or something like that. Small gifts mean a lot. Don't have to be big. Give me some face cream. You know what I mean? Make sure my face is right. You know what I mean? Make sure I'm right.
I love it. Listen, man. Right before we end off, speaking on the self-awareness part, what are 2 areas that you are working on? Like flaws. And what are 2 areas that you are wonderful in? That's wonderful about you.
Flaws. I'm gonna be very honest. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. Like I said, I was a millionaire before, and I lost all my money during the Great Recession because me and my wife, we just blew it. I was buying her mom and them trips. Just going crazy, man. Like I said, we had Mercedes, mansions, all that stuff like that, and she was good at spending money, but she wasn't good at saving it. You know what I mean? Like and I don't blame her. But I look at it and like, we should have been going to see accountant, financial advisor. So that's one thing I'm getting back on. Another thing right now is my health, man. Lost about 10 pounds. I'm in the gym, making sure that my body is right. So if I do present myself, and find a queen out there that, I want her to be right. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm right. So those are the 2 things that I'm working on for myself. And what was the other part to it?
And 2 wonderful things about Preston.
2 wonderful things that I'm really focusing on the Lord right now, man. I made a lot of mistakes over my life. I did some great things, but there was a part in my life where I was partying, doing drugs, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And then when I really found out that God wanted to use me, like I said again, He started knocking on my head saying, "Listen, I didn't bring you into this world to do this. I brought you in this world to take you to a higher plateau. And I'm gonna need for you to get right so you can help other people get right." So that's one thing. And then, spending time right now with my natural gifts. You know what I mean? Like I said, my ministry is kids, mental toughness. My natural gifts, like I said, is real estate. So I'm focusing on those things. At the end of the day, I don't care if you put me out in the desert in Arizona. You know what I mean? Only thing you have to give me is a phone and a car, and I can make a couple $100,000 like it's not nothing. Because again, just using my natural gifts. And I'm just getting back into that space, man, of teaching, inspiring, helping people, and God's been doing wonderful things, man. So that's it, man. So that's what I'm good at, like I say, So hopefully that answers your question.
It answered, man. I'm glad you made mention again about your natural gifts and real estate and everything like that, because, and I seen on your car, because I definitely am looking at, I love the presentation that you have, or the way you advertise as far as becoming a Airbnb owner, and the simple steps. I'm like, well, I need to know these steps. we need to do this, because I'll be renting while I'm going to other places, and then I have space that my rooms, what I'll be doing, and looking out for people sometimes who come in town or whatever. But I'm like, yeah, man. So we're gonna be talking definitely on that level. And already,
I'll coach you. Here's what I'll do. I'll coach you for free. When we get off this line, send me your email. I'll send you my ebook, and that'll be my blessing to you, my brother. I'll coach you for free, and we'll get ready to do some stuff with corporate housing in the midterm rental space. Like I said, I got with a few mentors and advisors where they're showing us how to make $8,000 a month off of corporate housing. So that's the wave that we on. Like I said, a lot of blessings are falling out right now. So I'm shifting, man. So God's taking me out of one space I was in with a female who didn't understand finances, and we blew a lot of things. And now he's helping me get right, and he's about to get ready to help me find my queen so I can be right financially once she falls into my lap, man. So I'm getting the nest ready.
Oh, man, come on. Well, I'm just saying, we on the podcast, Inspire.com, with that team. So, she already made mention earlier. So please look out for both of us with that. I appreciate it. So that because our whole ministry and our heart is to build people up and help make people's life better, right? And so that's what you're doing, and there's so many different ways to do that. But at the end of the day, people see they have evolved. They made the better because they were connected to you, Yep. Listen, is it, no, you were about to say something?
No, good. You got it. I'm all.
Is there anything, you made mention of your mom twice. My mom transitioned last year. That's a soft spot for me. And when it comes to a pressure spot, I'll say, when it comes to moms, right? And so is there anything that you wanted to say regarding your mom? I know you said your mom was killed. And is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, my mom was murdered when I was 15, but it changed the trajectory of my life. It was a gift and a curse, man. It was a gift and a curse because she's instilled so much stuff in me. And, she's my why. You know what I mean? Like, my thing is everything that I go through in life, man, and God is number one, but I want to make my mom happy, man. I want to make her proud. So when I'm doing things and making decisions, I know I couldn't keep acting like a knucklehead because I'm like, yo, I know my mom looking down on me. So all my decisions, just to make her happy, man, make her proud. And I mean, that's it. So that's what keeps me going, keeps me inspired. I love her and miss her. And that's that, my brother.
I love that because that's how I feel too. I feel that way daily throughout the day when I'm doing whatever, I love that, man. I'm glad I asked you that. I love that. I love that. Man, this has been nice. This has been good. This has been wonderful, man.
No, it's been good here to me, man. It's been good. It feels like therapy. It really does, man. To be able to get this stuff out and and talk to an incredible brother like yourself, man. I didn't know you had this platform, but you're great at what you do, man. I said y'all have an incredible team, and it's been an honor to be on.
Bless you. Thank you, man. To God be all the glory. What last words would you like to say to the audience? And this is those who listen now, who are going to be listening now and later on in years. What would you like to say?
Make your next move your best move, and understand whenever you're going through relationships, if it doesn't work out and it's not your person, you're just getting ready to close one chapter and enter into another one, man. So like I said, just stay inspired. And this is the most important thing, and I've been telling a lot of people this too, is just, walk into your natural gifts. Like, stop trying to be like a lot of people that's out here on social media. Walk into your natural gift, and God's going to make a way, man. So, I mean, that's it. So, yeah.
Come on, drop mic. I love it. Listen, audience, I appreciate you for tuning in, for watching on YouTube, Facebook, soon Instagram. I appreciate you for listening on Spotify, all of you out there. Listen, we need your support so that we can continue to grow and do the most for the kingdom to impact lives, right? So if you want to donate to us, please know you can Cash App or Zelle us at 404-901-8591 and do it today. Listen, if you want to be a guest, that same number, and do what Brother Preston just did, King Preston just did, just come and share from your own. There's no judgment zone here. There's no right or wrong. That's your perspective. 44901-8591. Just text the words special guest and we'll have you on. Listen, we're doing some great things here. He's doing greater things through us, for us, and we're being made to better right here. As I say, when we leave every show, I'm going to say it to you again. Please pay close attention. Be intentional about creating a better life for yourself. We out here. Y'all, love you much.
Blessings.
Blessings, blessings. Oh, my.